Hi everyone. Today I'll be going over the lesson called Resisting Pressure. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to define pressure, explain the difference between positive and negative peer pressure, and identify effective strategies for resisting negative peer pressure, and use refusal skills to protect your health and stand up to pressure. So, relationships are a source of support for all people, and the relationships you keep are certain to influence your preferences, activities, and ideas. I want you to think about this. Think of your closest friends. Maybe that's one or two or three. You tend to all dress like your closest friends, or you like the same things, or play the same sports or activities. And that's not a bad thing, but it just gives you a little bit of a clue that you are going to most likely turn out like the closest people that you are friends with. The influence your relationships have on your behavior can be both positive and negative. So, what is peer pressure? Pressure refers to the motivation to do an activity or to take on certain qualities. So, pressure can be internal and external. Internal pressure is your motivation to complete a task, whereas external pressure refers to outside actions, words that can influence your behavior. Peer pressure is a social pressure among people of the same age or status. This can make people feel like they need to do or they need to look like someone to be liked or respected. Peer pressure is a common element in present friendships, romantic relationships, and casual relationships. And there are two types of peer pressure, positive and negative. Positive peer pressure might feel pressure to participate in community service projects with a school group or an athletic team. A friend may encourage you to study harder and improve your grade in a class. And it also values your opinions, preferences, and individuality. For an example, a friend might say, "You're so smart, I think we should study together." Now, positive peer pressure, think about maybe trying to get a part in a school play or start on a soccer team. All those things are going to be positive peer pressure. Negative peer pressure refers to peer pressure that encourages unhealthy behaviors or is not respectful. So, in some relationships, one person pressures another to do something uncomfortable. A teen may feel pressure to drink alcohol because peers on social media are drinking, or skip class because friends encourage it. If the culture at a school is accepting of teasing and bullying, a teen may feel pressure to pick on classmates to fit in. Some strategies for handling peer pressure: you want to focus on yourself. Peer pressure can make you feel like you need to act or think a certain way to fit in. In reality, every person is unique and has different values and goals. Focus on your own thoughts, feelings, and values, and make sure your actions reflect your beliefs and goals. Knowing and being confident in yourself and your judgment will give you the strength to walk away from a situation or from people who make you feel uncomfortable. I think it's always important to think about um, usually the most amount of peer pressure that you are going to feel is in your teenage years. Now, just think about this. Once you turn 18, a lot of those people that you once felt pressure from go away. So, if you are feeling pressure from someone, just know that eventually that pressure is going to end and you're going to move on to a different situation. Now, I'm not saying that pressures go away, but it's going to look different. So just focusing on getting through that one point in your life, or maybe that pressure will go away, is going to really be important because making a mistake during that time period could affect your life forever. So just remember that it's more important to say no and maybe get picked on than say yes and have your life drastically change forever. You could also build respectful relationships. So, in healthy relationships, people recognize each other's boundaries and accept if a person says no or is uncomfortable. To resist negative peer pressure, focus on building relationships with people who value you for you and do not try to change who you are. You can also practice your refusal skills. So, part of resisting negative pressure is communicating your decisions, boundaries, and affirmative consent or refusal clearly to other people. Communicating your boundaries can help others know what makes you comfortable or uncomfortable. It can also prepare you to walk away from unhealthy behaviors or dangerous situations. The refusal skills are going to be a set of skills designed to help someone avoid participating in unhealthy behaviors. So, you can do things like state your refusal, give reasons, use body language, change the subject, tell a story, use humor, make an excuse, repeat your refusal, or leave the situation. So, if you know you're going to go into a situation where you might have to refuse something, think of something in your head so you're ready to go. So my mom, when we were growing up, she always said if we were at someone's house and we're not feeling comfortable, maybe they were pressuring us to do something, she said, always just say, "Oh, my mom just texted me and I have to leave." And she said, always text me and I will pick you up. So just having that one person who will not feel like they're not going to judge you or you're not going to be in trouble because you didn't do it. You just want to get out of that situation fast and safe. You can also support others. So through your actions, you can create a culture of positive peer pressure and support people who are resisting negative peer pressure. If you see another person being pressured to do an activity the person does not want to do, take action. Step in. Say, "I don't think that's a good idea." Or, "Hey, do you want to come with me, do something else?" So, try to get that person out of the situation as well if you see that that person is uncomfortable. You can also ask for help. Sometimes peer pressure can feel like a lot to handle, especially if the negative pressure lasts for a long time. You might feel like it is easier to give in. In these cases, do not be afraid to ask for help. Try getting advice from a trusted adult who has some experience handling peer pressure. So, we have reached the end of our lesson, and we are going to just go over a couple questions that are going to be on your assignment. We're going to answer the questions. Explain the difference between positive peer pressure and negative peer pressure. How can focusing on yourself help you resist peer pressure? Give one example of how you could support others in resisting peer pressure. What are the different types of refusal skills? What are the strategies for handling peer pressure? And think of a time you had negative peer pressure put on you. How did you refuse the negative pressure? The answer for number one is positive peer pressure is respectful and encourages healthy behaviors, whereas negative peer pressure is disrespectful and encourages unhealthy behaviors. Number two, knowing yourself and being confident in your judgment can help you walk away from situations that make you feel uncomfortable. Number three, positive actions that create a culture of positive peer pressure, and then also step in if you see negative peer pressure. Don't just wait around, do something, and say something. Number four, the different types of refusal skills are state your refusal, give reasons, use your body language, change the subject, tell a story, use humor, make an excuse, repeat your refusal, or leave the situation. You want to focus on yourself, build respectful relationships, use refusal skills, support others, and ask for help. The answer to the last question is going to vary based on your personal experiences. Now that we've finished the lesson, please go to the assignment on Schoology and let me know if you have any questions.